Again, this is Jazz P13 talking about the dollar in the black community. The dollar in the black community only turns over in less than 6 hours. In the Asian community, 14 days. In the Jewish community, 28 days. The picture in the back is David in the lion's den. Sometimes I feel like black America is in the lion's den of America as it turns to economics. This is a Black history lesson about economics. If black Americans were a country within themselves, let me let you see this right here. I want you to see this. It's going to be in the description. Right now, we'll be the 46th largest economy in the world. We'll be the 31st most populated country in the world. Right now is 48 million black Americans in America. Canada only have 34 million. We'll be bigger than Australia, which has 27 million. Cuba only has 11 million. Switzerland, Israel, some of the countries. Black Americans, we got to understand we have the economic power to do a whole lot in this country. When Martin Luther King and all those guys marched, they had great intentions, but we have black mayors. Before Reconstruction, we didn't have any black mayors, any black politicians, and we own our own hospitals and banks. Explain that. In America, they had this thing called the Homestead Act. I want to read that. That will be in the description. The Homestead Act of 1862, signed by President Lincoln, it gave every American 160 acres of land, black, white. They promised us 40 acres and a mule, maybe 3 or 4 years after he signed this act. We didn't get that. So when you look at our economic situation, people in North Dakota, Idaho, the Mormons, when they went out west, they gave them the land and the shovel, and they had to do for themselves and build it up. We was not afforded that. I'm not making excuses. And some of my friends who talk all this blackism and radicalism and this, that, and the other, it's time to do for self. Because it was this preacher in Detroit who started the Shrine of Black Madonna. His name was Reverend Cleve. I'm need to read something from him, which I found very compelling. Cleve, he said in the 1960s, the only institution black people owned and controlled was the black church. And from that central institution, blacks could, if they had a mind, to give birth to all the necessary survival institutions, including political power institutions. Short of doing that, Cleve perspective, black folks was foolishly putting all our faith in the goodwill of institutions owned and controlled by others to look out for our own best interests. Think about that. He said this. The Shrine of Black Madonna, they had a big church in Houston. They had a big Beulah land down in South Carolina. I was able to see that lady named Barbara Martin. They used to have a big Shrine of Black Madonna bookstore on Livernois near Davidson in Detroit. But these are innovative thinkers. When you look at the black fraternities, the black sororities, the black institutions, they have black organizations. They have big conventions, National Association of Black Writers, Accountants, Artists, whatever, social workers. We don't own one hotel. When Mr. Marriott started out selling ice cream in Washington, he left his family the Marriott. The Hilton man left his family. The Westinghouse man left his family. Ford, the Illiges with the Little Caesars Pizza. We have been barking up a tree. And we got to understand, I'm in the tree business. And I got a lot of my Indian friends as well as my Jewish friends. They say the only reason we hire you because nobody's in our community. You go any of their projects, they got Patel doing the plumbing, Patel doing the electricity. The Patel doing the roofing. When you come to our communities, you got immigrants working in stores. You have Asians selling hair and nail product. You have all the Indians owning the hotels. We don't have maybe 1 or 2 black supermarkets. Before integration, and I'm going to read the statistics and put them in remarks, we had banks. And I'm going to just show you. We had over 500 hospitals. Now we have only one. 500 black hospitals. We had 18 in Detroit by itself. You only have Howard University right now that I know of that's black owned, controlled, and operated. So if our people got sick, we still at the mercy of the masses to take care of us. It's like, would a Jew ask a German to give his kid an education? Think about that. But we don't even control our educational institutions in America. We don't even control our curriculum. And the reason nobody's talking about this financial piece, how to make the dollar move more than several hours, make it stay and trade. And on the other side, black service providers must step their game up. They must step their game up. But this is a mindset we need to shift. Only people that I know talking about these kind of issues are Dr. Claude Anderson. He's been talking about this since he was with the Carter administration. And my man, Boyce Watkins. You hear a little bit, Killer Mike. I got to give Killer Mike the ultimate respect. I mean, he got his own credit card. You look at Jay-Z and these guys. I mean, they got these Ciroc, this, that, and the other. But guess what? If you are letting somebody just use your name, we got to manufacture. I'm looking at a bookcase a black guy made for me many years ago. I know another guy made barbecue grills. We like barbecue. We need to get into manufacturing. China showed us when you don't manufacture nothing. That's why cars are sitting all over the country, because they can't get a computer chip. We, as black people, we have the financial resources, the intellectual resources, and we have the work, because we work for everybody else 40 years to get a watch. Black women are the most educated group of people in America. Black females own more education than anybody, but they the brokest. Explain that. Does education equals money? We need to be honest and show our kids how to have skills. Plumber, electrician. But this is a black economic issue, how to make that dollar turn over. I'm going to just read a couple more before I read the next segment. Please click, subscribe, and share. I can only grow with you. If this content means something that hits you, share it to like-minded people. It's this song by Gil Scott Heron, say, "Don't wait on the train from Washington." It's 400 years overdue. Don't wait on the train from Washington. It's 400 years overdue. Because of copyright laws and YouTube police, I can't play the song, but go get that song. Just look it up. He has another one called Madison Avenue, where you buying all these Gizmos and Gizmos. The only thing it's asking of you is your money. Remember, save your money. And this is the third installment of the financial Black history lesson. Teachers, it's enough in here to evoke for you to have your kids to quit thinking like you think, because most of these teachers sitting on $200,000 worth of debt, living over their means. We have to teach our kids how the dollar works and how to make that dollar move. Some of our elders that moved on, John Johnson, Mel Farr, Porterfield Wilson, Dick Harris, just in the Detroit area. We have to get, some product. Like the guy who started Starbucks. He can give you a franchise. I had an Avis franchise. We took that thing from zero to several $1 million. But when it was time for them to come take it, they came and gangstered it. It was there. It was a poison pill clause. I didn't help myself doing some crazy things, trying to help people to look like me. But I'm just telling you, it's time for us to understand the dollar and understand how powerful we are. When you look, we'll be the 46th largest population. We got 48 million. And we'll be the 31st strongest economy out of 186 countries that the United Nations recognize. Just the billions of dollars, the trillions of dollars that go through our hand, but it don't even stay in our hand for 8 hours. We give it right back. We get our check, we go pay the Lexus. We get our check, we go pay some big high rise down in New York or LA or Detroit. We get our check, we run to Nordstrom's or we run to Neiman Marcus. We get our check, we don't spend $1 with our people. That's a tragedy. You see my Jewish friends, they'll carpool. They have 4 congregations in one church. We got all these big mega churches. Everybody got mega churches with half the people in them. It's a sickness. We want to outdo each other. We don't understand money. And money and love and money, I'm not saying I love money because we know this is temporary. When I'm talking about legacy, I'm talking about being fair and quit apologizing for spending money. It's like the guy who made my tie and made this suit, made this, he's an Indian guy. I wish I could find a black tailor. I wish I was looking for one. I had one once. He did my suit and ran away with my money. I really don't even get mad at the guy. He could have stayed with me, and I sent the guy who does this. Matter of fact, he's so rich. Hong Kong's elegant tailors. This guy's in New York, Hong Kong, and Washington, D.C. He told me I was one of his first customers. Now he got his sons doing this. Thank God I was blessed to have a grandfather who taught me how to cut trees, and that's been my lifeblood. I try to give it to my blood family members, but I've given it. I got maybe 17 people that I know of own companies who cut trees, working up under me. So whatever your skill is, it's time for you to pass that skill on, especially if you're getting up in age, because we don't want our kids to use all their youth from 22 to 62, 40 years, giving it away to somebody. When you die, that's all you get is Social Security, and you out of here. We want to leave a legacy. And if we don't even get, all of us don't have the acumen, the intellectual acumen to run a business, but we have to teach our people how to spend money in the community. Unapologetic. You remember Rosewood. I don't want to deal with the tragedy of Rosewood, but in the Black History content, they had it going on. Greenwood, down in Atlanta, Hastings Street. I can't think of the section in where Pittsburgh Curie at. They had their own section. And integration, my feelings on that in previous ones, that failed us. A couple of us, got these big Rolls Royces, but the masses of us, because it's time for people who have this knowledge to teach this knowledge. I'm going to close it out with first, thank you for letting me get your ears as well as your eyes. But I'm going to close this out. We'll be the 46th largest country in the world, and we'll be the 31st largest economy in the world if we just only pool our resources to help each other. Again, thank you.